All right, ready to dive deep.
Always.
Today, it's Nikola Tesla.
Ah, Tesla.
Yeah, but we're going beyond the usual AC electricity story. We've got Stanford summaries, some really in-depth articles,
Interesting.
even some philosophical stuff.
Oh, wow.
It seems like the guy was thinking about way more than just circuits.
It's true. Tesla wasn't just tinkering. He was wrestling with some pretty big questions about energy, the universe, even what it means to be human.
Exactly. Like, we all know about AC power, but what about the wireless power dreams or that peace ray weapon thing or his fascination with vibrations? Like, what was that about?
Well, those are the threads we'll be pulling on today.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
look at the money side of things, the media, how they portrayed him.
Well, yeah.
Even the society back then might not have been ready for some of his ideas.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, just to get us all on the same page, Tesla's greatest hits, what are we talking about?
Well, this is a guy who revolutionized how we use electricity. I mean, literally. His
Yeah.
AC system, the induction motor, the heart of it all.
Right.
That made it possible to transmit power over long distances efficiently.
Which we totally take for granted now.
Think about it, your washing machine, refrigerator,
Hmm.
even the factory that built your car.
Hmm.
They're all humming along thanks to principles that Tesla helped establish.
And I bet most people don't even realize it.
Exactly. It's easy to forget how revolutionary that was back then.
Totally.
Edison's DC system, very limited in distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Tesla's AC opened up a whole new world.
Hmm.
And then there's wireless communication. He was playing with radio waves way before most people even knew what they were,
Right.
laying the groundwork for radio broadcasts, our smartphones, the whole thing.
Talk about an impact that just ripples through history.
And his work on hydroelectric power, way ahead of the curve on sustainability, too.
Yeah.
He saw the potential of harnessing nature's power early on.
But it's the stuff that didn't quite make it that really grabs me.
Oh, absolutely. That's where things get really fascinating.
Like wireless power transmission. Just imagine a world where you don't have to plug anything in, ever.
Amazing, right?
Tesla was working on a system to beam electricity wirelessly, using the Earth's own magnetic field. He even built that huge Wardenclyffe Tower.
Ah, Wardenclyffe.
Yeah.
More like a monument to a dream that didn't quite come true.
Yeah. What happened?
Funding dried up, the project was shelved.
Huh?
Makes you wonder, what if he'd pulled it off?
Right. What would our world look like today?
Completely different, I imagine. And then there's Teleforce, the peace ray,
Oh, yeah.
a directed energy weapon so powerful it could stop wars before they even started.
That's a pretty bold claim.
Some called it a death ray, actually, which didn't help.
I bet.
Scared people, understandably. But the concept of directed energy is still fascinating. Could it have worked? And what would that even mean ethically if it did?
Right. Could you even control a weapon like that?
Ex-
It shows that Tesla wasn't just about the tech itself, right? He was thinking about how it would affect society, war, everything.
He wasn't just building gadgets, he was trying to solve big, messy human problems.
And then there's the Tesla coil. Everyone knows that one. Shoots out lightning bolts.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't just for show.
No, not at all. He saw it as a potential key to wireless power.
Like charging your phone without plugging it in.
Exactly. No more tangled cords behind the TV.
That would be nice.
But sadly, it never really went beyond the demonstration phase. More of a scientific curiosity than a world-changing technology, in his lifetime at least.
Okay, but speaking of the head of his time,
Yeah.
did you know Tesla built a remote-controlled boat back in 1898?
Oh, wow.
1898. Demonstrated it at some exhibition, blew people's minds.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was a true pioneer of radio control.
Yeah.
Everything from garage door openers to drones. We can trace that back to him.
It's incredible how much of our modern tech has roots in his work.
And yet, it seems like a lot of it was, I don't know, underappreciated until much later.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Kind of tragic, yeah.
But then there's his work with vibrational energy.
Oh, yeah, that's the really out there stuff.
Earthquake machines, free energy generators.
Stuff that sounds like science fiction.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's where Tesla's work gets a little more controversial,
Right.
speculative even. Fascinating to think about, but a lot of it was dismissed by the scientific establishment at the time.
Yeah, it seems like he was always pushing the boundaries of what people thought was possible. And people don't always like that.
It's true.
So we've got this picture of Tesla as like a brilliant mind, but also maybe a bit of a tragic figure, someone whose ideas were just too much for his time.
That's the paradox we're exploring, right?
Yeah?
Why didn't some of these groundbreaking inventions take off? Just bad timing or something more?
Let's get into that.
Sounds good.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're deep in Tesla land, and it's amazing how much this guy's work still resonates today.
It really is. He was thinking so far ahead.
Like his AC system, it's the backbone of our entire electrical grid, right?
Exactly. But even wilder is his wireless work. Think about it. Everything's wireless now.
Yeah, seriously, smartphones,
On
Wi-Fi.
the data centers that power the internet, it all goes back to those early experiments Tesla was doing with wireless transmission.
It's crazy how much we take that for granted.
Think about the impact. Instant global communication, access to information anytime, anywhere. It's changed everything. The way we work, connect, even protest.
Back then, it was pure science fiction.
And Tesla was right there, pushing the boundaries.
He wasn't just an engineer, he was like a futurist.
He was. And I think that spirit, that drive to push the limits of what's possible, that's his most enduring legacy.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not just about the inventions themselves. It's about that relentless pursuit of, I don't know, a better future. Which is why I think it's so fitting that Elon Musk named his electric car company after Tesla.
Makes sense. It's not just about the tech. It's about that vision.
Right. And Tesla was passionate about sustainability too, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He was talking about renewable energy long before it was trendy, those early experiments with hydroelectric power. His idea of harnessing the Earth's natural energy, it's all incredibly relevant today.
Yeah, with climate change and everything.
Exactly. He was like a one-man sustainability movement way ahead of his time.
But it wasn't just the practical stuff either. His philosophical ideas are pretty mind-blowing too. Like the universe as this interconnected web of energy.
Oh, definitely. His view that energy is the fundamental building block of existence. I mean, modern physics is starting to catch up to some of his insights.
Yeah, quantum physics especially, it's wild.
Right. And his idea that everything is interconnected through vibrations and energy fields.
That's trippy.
It is. And, there are parallels with some pretty cutting-edge concepts in physics today, like quantum entanglement, where particles can be linked across vast distances.
So he was onto something.
It seems that way. Like he intuitively grasped these concepts long before they could be scientifically proven.
I guess that's what makes him so fascinating. This blend of hard science and almost mystical intuition. It's like he was tapping into something bigger than himself.
He did describe his own brain as a receiver, tuned into a source of knowledge beyond our physical world.
Wow. Whether you take that literally or metaphorically, it speaks volumes about his mind.
Definitely open to unconventional ideas, that's for sure.
Okay, so we've got this guy revolutionizing technology, pondering the mysteries of the universe, pushing for sustainability. He sounds like a superhero.
He does, doesn't he? But as we saw earlier, being a visionary can come with a price.
Right. The financial struggles, the media skepticism, even ridicule for some of his ideas.
It's a classic story in a way.
Yeah.
True innovation often clashes with the status quo.
People are afraid of what they don't understand.
Exactly. Investors might not see the potential. The public can be fearful or dismissive. Even the scientific community can be resistant to change.
It makes you wonder, was Tesla just too far ahead of his time? Would things have been different if he were working today?
That's a great question. With all the advances we've made, would today's investors be throwing money at wireless power transmission? Would the internet be buzzing about teleforce? It's impossible to know for sure, but...
But it makes you think, right, about timing, about the challenges visionaries face.
Exactly. And it makes Tesla's story all the more compelling. He wasn't just a genius. He was a human being, grappling with real-world obstacles, pushing against the limits, and ultimately leaving behind a legacy that still inspires us today.
So what can we learn from him? What does his story mean for us in the 21st century?
That's the big question. And that's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we've been through Tesla's life. The ups and downs, the breakthroughs, the setbacks. He's clearly a fascinating guy. But what can we actually learn from him? Like, how do we take that Tesla spirit and actually apply it to our own lives?
Well, I think it starts with realizing that Tesla wasn't some kind of superhuman. He struggled, He faced doubt. People thought he was crazy sometimes.
Right.
But he kept going. He had this relentless curiosity, this drive to push the boundaries no matter what.
So it's not about being a genius. It's about, like, having that drive to explore, to question things.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to be wrong sometimes.
Mm.
That's lesson number 1. Embrace that curiosity, see where it leads you. You might be surprised what you discover.
That's inspiring and all, but Tesla had all these amazing ideas,
Hmm.
but a lot of them, they never really happened in his lifetime.
Yeah.
So could any of them actually work today? Like of all the tech advancements we have now?
Now, that's the really interesting part, right? Let's take wireless power transmission, for example.
Hmm.
Back then, it seemed impossible. But now, we have wireless charging for phones. Even electric cars are starting to experiment with it.
Right, but Tesla was talking about like powering entire cities wirelessly.
Yeah.
Is that even remotely possible?
It might be. I mean, researchers are making progress transmitting power over longer distances. It's not as efficient as wired systems yet, but the
Mhm.
potential is there. Imagine no more power lines, no more tangled cords. Your devices just charge automatically as you move around.
Wow, that would be incredible.
Sure.
What about teleforce, that whole peace ray concept? It still seems kind of far-fetched.
And potentially dangerous, yeah. But here's the thing. Directed energy technology, it's being developed right now. For military applications,
Really?
high-powered lasers, particle beams, stuff designed to intercept missiles, disable drones.
So Tesla's idea of a powerful defensive weapon wasn't totally crazy.
Well, it definitely raises some big ethical questions, but it shows how what seemed like science fiction back then can become reality. And that's the point, isn't it? Technology keeps evolving. What seems impossible today might be commonplace tomorrow.
It makes you wonder what other Tesla inventions might find new life in the 21st century.
It's an exciting thought, and it's a reminder that even ideas that don't work out exactly as planned can still spark innovation in unexpected ways.
Like his work with the Tesla coil, it never quite achieved widespread wireless power, but it's still used in all sorts of things.
Exactly.
And
And who knows, maybe as we understand physics better, some of Tesla's more obscure ideas might find new applications.
like that vibrational energy stuff.
Maybe. It's all about pushing the boundaries, asking those what-if questions. That's the real legacy of Tesla, I think.
So beyond the gadgets and inventions, what's the big takeaway?
It's about the power of curiosity. Never stop asking questions, challenging the status quo. Tesla dared to dream bigger than anyone thought possible. And even when things got tough, he never gave up on that. That's something we can all learn from.
Absolutely. So there you have it, a glimpse into the mind of Nikola Tesla, a man whose ideas continue to shape our world in ways we're still discovering.
We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into Tesla's world. It's a reminder that innovation comes from pushing the boundaries, asking those what-if questions. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to turn an impossible idea into reality.
That's all for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.